is brought to you by Equity Bank.
Equity Bank. You are listening, caring partner.
Is it possible to start a business with just 3,000 shillings? That's the story of Charles Makori on Road to Success, the key to your next level in business. You're watching Road to Success, the key to your next level in business. We are happy to have Charles Makori to our show. Charles, karibu sana.
Thank you.
Charles, you have a very interesting story. 3,000 shillings, you started your company, and such a young age. How did that happen?
You see, it all depends on the dreams that you have. Sometimes dreams are everything. Reality is wrong. Dreams are for real. When you have such a passion of something, you will get out all there yourself and do it and make it happen.
So with 3,000 shillings, I'm sure you did not buy a computer with 3,000 shillings. First of all, where did you get 3,000 shillings?
So when you had this very brilliant idea, wanted it to now catapult the business into high level, but we realized we didn't have any capital. Because we were students and the little money we were being given by our parents and brothers and sisters, we were using it in transport. So my brother bought me a phone to use in college. So I realized I can forgo the opportunity to make big things happen. So I decided to sell the phone to raise the little capital that we really needed so desperately to start our business. So that's when I offered my phone to sell to my sister. The revenue from the phone, we registered our first website. That's the domain name, and we did our first hosting now. We are now doing it through other guys. Yeah.
But there are very many people dreaming, and they probably have that 3,000 shillings, and they're still waiting to start their company. Are you telling us starting a business is not necessarily a very expensive affair?
Definitely. It's because they follow a certain path, and in life you don't follow a path. Go where there is no path and a river trail.
If I come to you, what will you offer me?
I specialize majorly in web development, whereby I deploy professionally done, very attractive websites. I provide cutting-edge hosting solutions. In any case, I have a big hosting server in the United States, in the state of Arizona, whereby all my clients are hosted there. I provide 99.9 uptime guarantee, whereby you find all the websites are up and running. My clients have never experienced any major problem up to date.
How many clients do you have now?
I have 250 clients and steadily growing by each and every day.
250, some people would be absolutely satisfied. So you're saying you're still going on.
My vision stems from my passion and my enthusiasm to get as many as possible clients, organizations, businesses, both individual and corporate, to have an online presence. It acts as an enterprise mobility, whereby it projects a local business to an information technology superhighway, whereby it puts them on a platform whereby
road to your first client. That's usually the challenge. How do you start something you've never done before? Yeah. How did you win your first client?
We got our first client when I was working with my friend, and we were doing our first internship. By then, we had knocked doors on some major IT organizations for internship, but it was not forthcoming. So I decided to give back to society. We approached the local church that I was attending. We talked to the pastor and we told him we were ready to have our services in terms of updating the church websites on a weekly basis, in terms of the church programs, the groups there, and any information that the church had. While working on the church, I decided now to source for contacts through magazines, through newspaper cuttings, and on the classified sections of the major dailies. Then from there, I wrote emails to about 50 clients, and the first client replied, and we went there for pitching and presentation he was very thrilled with our ideas, and he gave us an opportunity to serve and work for him. The results was very impressive, and then from there we were recognized by the major dailies. We were profiled on a small section for smart business, and then from there even the college administration was so impressed. We were recognized as entrepreneurs and even awarded Entrepreneur of the Year awards. And then the college offered us some facilities and even encouraged us to mentor our fellow students, and we started a business club in college.
This is a very interesting story. Now, we have to take a break at the moment, but when we come back, you will tell us about your business club.
Okay, thank you.
You're watching Road to Success, the key to your next level in business. Do not go away. Your first
Road to Success.
You're watching Road to Success, the key to your next level in business. Before the break, we were talking to Charles Makori about how you started your company from 3,000 shillings at such a young age. And you have done so well to a point where your university has called you back and you're mentoring students there. Tell us about your business entrepreneurship club.
This was immediately after our break in achieving a little bit of success, and then the university administration realized that we had so much potential that we could kind of divide and enable our fellow students to also get into our field or to where we were. The Dean of Commerce approached us and told us we can start a business entrepreneurship club to mentor our fellow students. So we started having roundtable discussions, brainstorming sessions, whereby we could encourage them to start and be where we were. So we mentored about 20 of our fellow students, and they started various businesses ranging from poultry farming, beekeeping, and some even started IT solutions, but now they were not measuring so much into hosting and domain registration, but they were focusing on web designing. But in the real sense, they do come to me to offer them hosting and domain registration services.
There's a lot of giving in your story, and the more you give, it looks like the more you get blessed. Tell us about where that spirit of giving is coming from.
I believe in being a brother or a sister's keeper. So sometimes I want each and every person in Kenya to have something, each and every person to have success in whatever they do. So sometimes I go out of my way to help small and upcoming businesses to have that online presence, either through giving them affordable solutions, or sometimes even shelving them most of the costs, so that I only incur the expenses that are necessary without even putting a markup on what I charge them.
So what is your dream for your business?
I have this passion whereby I want as many organizations as possible, as many businesses as possible, to have an online presence, because it helps a lot. It increases their online presence, it increases their revenue, and also their business sales. So in the next, I have a 3 to 5 year projection whereby I want to have at least 5,000 key accounts to manage in terms of hosting and domain registration.
So if we wanted to think about what you're saying, if I'm not a company that is hosted on the website, what is the process? How do I even begin?
The process is you come to my office or you approach me. I get your details, and then from there the process is you search the availability of the domain name. The domain name is like the post address box that you own. It's the same name as your company, but maybe in a shortened form, so that it's easier for a customer or a client or someone out there to remember it. So you can shorten it with a few letters, or if the business name is not long, you can have the entire business name. Then we search for availability. If it's available, then we can register it. Then we started the process of registration, which takes about 5 to 10 minutes. Then we do hosting, which is like providing a server space whereby all the pictures, all the business content resides, and also whereby you can get professionalized email accounts.
I'm just wondering, how would they know that I'm on the website?
Once I provide the domain and hosting services, there is what we call a search engine optimization or a search engine submission. This is whereby we submit your details or your web address details to major search engines like Google, Yahoo, Alta Vista, and others. There are about more than 500 search engines. So whereby when one wants to is looking for a certain business like in landscaping, you can just go to a major search engine and type landscaping services, and then from there the search engine crawls and indexes all the businesses in Kenya that provide that service, and from there you will find that now the client will access your website among the first page of Google.
How much is this costing me? Supposing I'm a new startup business.
In Kenya, most companies offer that services from 6,000 to 10,000. But for me, I want to have as many businesses as possible on the online online platform, and I'm offering at unlike other businesses out there which offer the same service at about 10,000 per year or 2,000 per month.
You know, Charles, is a saying that says that cheap is expensive. And you're talking about the fact that you charge very little. How do we know that you will deliver?
Actually, my pricing is based on offering cost-effective and affordable solutions, whereas other service providers might want to put a price tag which is way above the reach of many Kenyans. That's why because I want as many Kenyans as possible, as many businesses as possible to have an online presence, I've put that price so that I can get as many clients as possible. It's kind of a lock-in price. That's what sets me apart, because in any case, the services that I provide are very much competitive and very much high-quality world-class services. Then that's why out of the 250 clients I have, 100 of them have migrated from other service providers to come and enjoy what I offer.
Yeah. How far is your reach?
Actually, my reach is global. I have though the bulk of my clients is from within Kenya, a good percentage is from outside Kenya. That's in East and Central Africa, from DRC Congo, from Rwanda. I have clients from the UK and as far down as Australia.
Charles, you have really inspired us with your story, but how do we reach you if we wanted to get in touch with you?
If you want to access me or to access my services, you can log into my website, which is www.charlesmakori.com. My email address is also there, which is charles@charlesmakori.com.
That's a wonderful story. We wish you all the best. But before we go, is there a word you would like to leave to our viewers? Your one last inspiring word.
Charles Makori Networks is out there to help young and upcoming businesses or businesses which don't have a website to have an online presence. It's a cost-effective method of marketing yourself, and you can get as many clients as possible because your reach is global, if not regional. My services are very affordable, and they can be deployed as a little time as 72 hours.
Thank you very much for sharing your story, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you. Most welcome.
You're watching Road to Success, the key to your next level in business. When we come back, we'll be talking to David Miner from Pure Flow.
Mentorship is a wonderful opportunity for both the mentor and the mentee to be able to share. I think oftentimes we feel that maybe it is just the mentee who's benefiting, but the mentor actually gets an opportunity to even get clarity on his own thoughts as to why he did what he did.
Success is brought
Thank you for staying with us. You're watching Road to Success, the key to your next level in business. We're joined by David Miner from Pure Flow. Karibu sana.
Asante. Thank you, Grace. It's good to be back.
Now, David, we've been talking to Charles Makori, a young man whose company just opened up by giving. What is your opinion about giving back to society?
I think this is a great story about what happens when you give, and I think it's something we all should emulate. The opportunity to give is actually an opportunity to receive. So when things aren't working out, when you don't have a job, you don't know where to go next, think of giving. And I think that opens up more opportunities than you can think of to learn, to add value to others, and also to receive back, because people get to see your talents and your skills. So I think giving is a good showcase for what one has, and it's something we should do more often.
A lot of companies have CSR departments.
Yes.
Tell us how to even go about it. First of all, give us a definition of what is a CSR.
Okay. Well, CSR stands for Corporate Social Responsibility, and it's something that a lot of corporate entities will do as a way to give back to the communities in which they work in. And this is done in various forms: in kind, cash donations, sometimes products, or even services. We've seen companies go to clean communities because they sell detergents, or others who decide to give milk products because they sell milk. But I think the bottom line is a recognition that it's important to share. If I have something that can be of value to you, it's important to share it, because then I add value to you, and you in turn also feel good when you're adding value to me. So as a buyer and consumer of products, I'll feel better supporting and buying products from a company that gives to the community.
But what is so interesting is, is there a particular formula? Because most CSR gives over.
There's a particular formula, and I think that this has become very debatable, especially in terms of the kinds of gifts we give. Are they short-term gifts? Are they medium-term value addition? Or are they long-term? And companies are being challenged more and more not to just give cakes and biscuits to kids in children's homes exactly at the end of the year at Christmas, but maybe they could, drill a borehole and provide water. They could build a classroom. They could donate a library. Now imagine the impact of that, over the years. So I think we're going to be developing our own formulas as we go, based on what we value as corporate entities, but also as individuals, as we communicate back to those who are engaging in CSR.
Is there a particular percentage, or how do you equate how much I should give or what I should give?
Well, I think there's a couple of different schools of thought on that. Some companies look and say, well, we've made X profits, maybe we should take a percentage of that and just give back. Others go ahead and budget it from the beginning as an expense. And they say, look, we're going to spend at least 100,000 shillings giving back to the community. It has no bearing on how much profit they made or even their income. So I think there's that school of thought that says, let's just do something good and let's do what we can afford. There's another school of thought that says, much like we come up with a ratio of how much I earn versus how much I should give to the church or charity, and we call it different things. Some people call it a tithe. Maybe we should do the same in business, and why not? If we believe that all things come from a higher being than ourselves, and that value is just something we are a custodian for, then maybe considering it a tithe or a certain percentage of what one gets to take home after business activity is a wise thing to do. So I think it's going to be debated for a while, and I think we'll all be able to find a place that we feel comfortable in. But I think the thing that's not negotiable is, should we do it? I think we should definitely do it. And increasingly now, people are feeling comfortable to give back to the community and just make it a regular thing that we do.
Another fascinating angle with Charles' story is that he started mentoring people at a very young age while still in university. What is your opinion on mentorship as a whole?
I think mentorship is a wonderful opportunity for both the mentor and the mentee to be able to share. I think oftentimes we feel that maybe it is just the mentee who's benefiting, but the mentor actually gets an opportunity to even get clarity on his own thoughts as to why he did what he did, why other people believe he or she is a success. And I think that also opens up the opportunity for a more intense dialogue between the mentee and the mentor. I think some benefits are, one, there's continuity. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. So if Makori learned some great valuable lessons in the early days of his business, he's able to pass those on to others who are starting their businesses now. So we stop reinventing the wheel each time. And so that continuity, I think, is valuable. I think another value addition with mentorship is you build strong bonds. If Makori's been able to mentor people and they found it useful, when they think of IT and web hosting services, almost definitely they'll think of him. And I've seen this in my life as well. You know, when people think about water, they think of me. But that's because we were sharing things that probably had nothing to do with water, but they found it useful and valuable. So I think there's a bond, a strong bond that's created when you freely give something of value.
David, thank you so much for clarifying this area of CSR and giving. But before you go, we have a question of the week. And today we have a question that has come through our mail, and that's from Emily Wangari, and she's from Machakos. And Emily wants to know, what are the advantages of outsourcing human resources in business?
Good question. I think outsourcing is becoming increasingly popular, and the reason is that in a business you have so many different facets of the operation, and not all these facets are core to what one does. So for instance, if we take Makori's case, in web hosting, you still need to have employees, but maybe spending time on HR issues, on administrative issues to do with payroll, to do with leave, and even counseling are maybe not core to his business. So in some instances, it's actually quite a good thing to outsource what is not core, so that you are able to concentrate, especially in the early parts and the early days of the business, if you can afford it. But even for mature businesses, they're beginning to realize that every new people that you take on board to help you with the back of the house, that is the support services, administration, HR, and others, that's space that you have to pay for, that's rent you've got to pay for, that's extra overhead. Yet it doesn't have to actually sit there next to you. You could have this service provided by professionals who are off-site and at a fraction of what it would cost you if you were to take them on board as an overhead. So I think one advantage is obviously it's cost saving, it's time saving. You have a shorter learning curve. You get professionals who don't have to learn on the job. They're already doing this very well, and for many other companies. And I think the other benefit is it allows you to focus on your core business.
But how do you know when to outsource and when not to outsource?
Sure. I think one is a function of cost, and the other is a function of operation. If you feel that this is becoming more of a distraction than the value it is adding, then it's time to seek another alternative like outsourcing. If you feel that you're spending more than what your company can afford, yet you've tried all other ways of cost cutting or optimization, then maybe you're also ready for outsourcing. Some challenges are sometimes we don't have the outsource resources in the marketplace, and if you can find a good resource that will cost you less than what it costs you to do it yourself, and they'll give you better value than you can do it in-house, then it's time for outsourcing.
So thank you, David, for your insight on CSR, mentorship, and also Emily's question. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Grace. My pleasure.
As we begin this week, remember, more powerful than the will to win is the courage to begin. God bless you.
Road to Success is brought to you by Equity Bank.
Equity Equity Bank. You are listening, Caring Partner.